Hello, dear friends. Here we are with another study of one of the articles of the Spiritist magazine. Welcome. It's always a blessing and an honor to be with you. We're always going to encourage you to visit the website spiritistmagazine.org. There you'll be able to find the previous issues of the Spiritist magazine. Download the app for your devices, phone and tablets, and also order the physical copy of the magazine if that's something you would like to do. And today's article is titled True Inner Silence. If you have your app or the magazine, go to issue 41 and find this wonderful article that derives from this original Spiritist magazine by Allan Kardec. And this article is by the Spirit, the Courson, through the medium Mr. Beterand, as you saw in the beginning. It was published in November of 1868. If you're here with me, please say hi. Leave your comments and questions. If you go to spiritistmagazine.org, there's a contact form that you can use to get in touch with us if you'd like to volunteer. If you have a special talent, if you would like to write, or you have graphical design talents, just make sure you enter in touch with us, and the editor-in-chief will reply to you and make sure that you can contribute in your own way as well. This is 100% volunteer endeavor. It does cost money to keep the app running, and it will cost you money to order the magazine, but that does not come to us. It goes to the partner, just the cost of printing, and also if you can donate to help with our efforts as well. So, True Inner Silence. I'm going to share with you my PDF version of the magazine. That's what I use for us to study. This is what the article looks like. There's nothing like this on the earth, this quality, this amount of knowledge, yet free of charge. This is the version. This is the cover of the magazine that talks about the movie Coco. And as always, there is an article from the Spiritist magazine, Spiritist conduct book. There's a letter from the editor, and then you have the index or the table of contents. I'm going to scroll down to, we already talked about this article, for example, visualizations of peace before. There's a wonderful prayer by Euripides Parsanovo. There are articles from the 15 Past Lives book by Amália Domingos Soler. And what I'm looking for is, if you have children, you also can go to the end of the magazine, and there's a cartoon with teachings of the Spiritist doctrine as well. So this magazine is for all ages. When you learn, you pass it on to the next generation. And if you're already a certain age, you still benefit for your own growth. Therefore, you spread the teachings everywhere you go. So today's teaching is today's article is going to teach us the importance of inner silence, true inner silence. It will sound harsh, but it isn't. It's just questioning some of the assumptions you and I have about our lives. It's very easy to use, and that's partially why I do it this way. So you can see, you can just, if you were using your app, you would be able to easily pinch in and out, zoom in and out. And then here I am doing by hand because I'm on a computer, but you can do that too. So the Spirit, the Courson, says, if you could see the inner silence of the spirits of all the orders who attend your sessions, during the reading of your prayers, you would not only be touched, but be ashamed to see that your inner silence, which only qualify as silence, is far from approaching that of the spirits, a good number of which are inferior to you. What you call silence during the reading of your beautiful prayers is to observe a silence that no one disturbs. But if your lips do not move, if your body is still, your spirit wanders and leaves behind the sublime words that you should utter from the depths of your heart, assimilating them by thought. Let's go back and begin thinking about this as well. So what is he telling us right here? How many times we are silent, we're discussing something or we're listening to something, but we're really not silent. When we are in the human kingdom, when you and I are created as a soul and we reincarnate, one of the characteristics is to continuous thought. That's in the book Evolution into Worlds by Andrea Louise. And when you have continuous thought, we can't really stop thinking. But then there is this constant chatter in our brain. And when we go to our meetings, be them sessions, as they're saying here, mediumistic sessions, or maybe a public speaking, maybe you're watching, because of the pandemic, many centers have follow many different health guidelines. They're meeting online weekly instead of in person. Then it becomes even easier for you to pay attention to everything else and be there listening to the talk, quote unquote. But really, we're thinking about what's for dinner, what I'm going to do this weekend, what's my to-do list, so on and so forth. And that's the chatter in our brain he's talking about. He's saying the inner silence of the spirits of all orders. So that's the first teaching. When we are studying, either we are studying in person or we study in our homes, quote unquote, by ourselves, because we know we're never alone. We have companionships. We have friends. We have familiar spirits who are with us. Depending on our attunement, we may feel the presence of our guardian angels with us. So all orders of spirits are attending our sessions with us. And then he's telling us we would be touched by realizing the inner silence of the higher spirits that are with us. But we would be ashamed to see that our inner silence is far from approaching that of the spirits which are inferior to us. We are never truly mindful, present, and aware when we are doing something. We are here listening, but our minds are elsewhere. The silence that no one disturbs, the lips do not move, the body is still, but your spirit wanders behind the sublime words. And that's an important point. When we are doing something, we have to ask ourselves, is this the right thing right now for me to do? So if I dislocate myself to a Spiritist center, to a rented room of your Spiritist group, to an activity, I need to strive to be there present, not thinking about elsewhere, not thinking about what is next, because a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the suffering that we observe in our lives comes from never being in the present. We are either in the past, ruminating what happened, worried about a word or something we did, or thinking about what's coming next. I'm doing a study that's aside from the book Calmness by Emmanuel on Thursday mornings that tells us right there, Emmanuel corroborates. He says, you're not mindful. We're worried about what's coming. We're worried about what is past, but not today. So what is the current state of your inner silence? Are you listening to these words, but also scrolling on something else, cooking, cleaning? Sometimes that's what we need to do. The only time we can listen to the cardiac radio is while we're doing something. But next time, can we advocate for going into nature without headphones, going for a run without headphones, washing the dishes without the TV on and a game playing and a radio and so on and so forth. That's the inner silence, the inner mindful presence that we want. Let's reverse this. Let's say we are at the Spiritist Center. We're receiving fraternal counseling. We're talking to a friend. How awful it is, how difficult it is when we are talking to someone and they actually, we wanted their attention, but they're focused on elsewhere. We can tell when people are not paying attention about our own selves. When we are trying to share something with someone, they're worried about their phone, their conversation, so on and so forth. So let's reverse it. When we go to our Spiritist centers, we want to be there, be present, so that we can be instruments of the good spirits as well. And this spirit is going to tell us, continue, matter observes the outer silence, the outward silence. Certainly, to say the contrary would be insult to you. But the cherry spirit does not observe it and disturbs at the moment by diverse thoughts the inner silence of the spirits that surround you. So when I'm not mindful, then now I am a hindrance to the spirits that are around me, because the mentors would love for us to be mindful to the extent we can in this lifetime. Then they can use us as instruments, then we can listen to their inspiration so that we can say the right thing to that person in front of me, or to the counseling of the Spiritist, this obsession meeting, for example. And then he's going to give us what to aim for. He says, if you saw them prostrate before the eternal, asking for the fulfillment of each of the words that you read, your soul would be moved. Then, lamenting your little past attention, you would make an examination of conscience and would ask God with all your heart the realization of the same words which you uttered with the lips. You would ask the spirits to render yourself to their counsels. And I, the spirits who talk to you after reading your prayers and the words I have just said, could point out more than one that will be very docile to the counsels I have just given, with very uncharitable sentiments towards their neighbor. So he's telling us we're never alone. If we could see the dedication and the love that the good spirits have when they're asking for the fulfillment of the words. When you study the Gospel according to Spiritism, when you go to the last 2 chapters, they have the prayers. When we say something and we want to ask for something, if we could just truly ask with our spirit for the fulfillment of our desires. And he's going to tell us, maybe I am a little rough, but I believe not to be, but to those who deserve it, and whose most secret thoughts cannot be hidden from the spirits. Thus, I only address those who come here thinking of anything other than the lessons they should seek here and the feelings they should bring here. That's a very important teaching from you and I. So I'm going to make it just that on the screen so we can focus on it. Because sometimes people dismiss it. Oh, nobody's paying attention. It's just a thought. No, nothing, our secret thoughts, what we think of ourselves, of others, what we wish unto others, it cannot be hidden from the spirits. They may be hidden from spirits of a lower vibrational tone who are still worried about different things, but they're never hidden from God. They're never hidden from the good spirits who guide us. So it's very important that we are mindful of our inner silence, our thoughts, what we wish to others, what we are wishing for ourselves as well. So be mindful, be thoughtful, and that's the message for today. And he says, but those who pray from the bottom of their souls will also pray after reading my communication for those who come here and from here depart without having prayed. Because sometimes we just go and pray and feel good, and then we go home and we don't understand why we don't change, why our thoughts are not changing. Our life is not changing because inwardly we're not having our central desire to be this inner connection with the Christ. He ends by saying, in any case, I ask those who are kind enough to listen to me to continue to put into practice the teachings and the advice of the spirits. To this I invite you in the interest, for they do not know all they can lose by not doing it. So, dear friends, this message is from the Spiritist magazine from November of 1868, published by the Brazilian Spiritist Federation. You can also purchase some of the volumes that are distributed by year from the United States Spiritist Council, or you can go to Kardecpedia and read them there. For us who are kind enough to listen to the teachings of the Spirit, I will encourage you to listen to the Courson, Mr. Beterand as the Spirit, compiled lovingly by Allan Kardec, whose dedication brought us together today. That you seek that true inner silence within yourself, the true awareness of what you're doing at this moment right now. Not dwelling in the past, make amendments today for a better future tomorrow. And between now and the next time we meet, visit spiritistmagazine.org. Get a hold of the PDF version of this article. Meditate on it by yourself. And also make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Someone else may benefit from these teachings. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much, guys.